and economic disadvantage.
That could most likely have an impact on surgeries and
Coming up on Ignite News, it's the bicentennial of the War of 1812.
It was really the first demonstration by Canadians that they wanted to have their own country, something separate from the United States.
Mohawk opens its doors to prospective students.
Well, it's a chance to speak to all our faculty, staff, students, alumni, come and see what it looks like in here.
Big Wreck and Theory of a Dead Man come to Hamilton, a Degrassi star leaves the show for Broadway, and a new hit becomes the most viewed video on YouTube. All of this and more coming up in your entertainment update.
The Argos celebrate their victory. The Eagles and the Panthers clashed in the Monday Nighter. I've got all this and more coming up in your sports update.
It's cold right now, but we'll have some warmer temperatures as the week moves on. I've got your full weather forecast coming up.
Your Ignite News starts now.
Good morning and welcome to your Ignite News for Tuesday, November 27th. I'm Taylor Ablett.
And I'm Katie Deslip. Here's what's making news. Toronto is 2 weeks away from needing a new mayor. Rob Ford has been ordered out of office after being guilty of breaking conflict of interest rules. Ford used his official letterhead to solicit donations for his high school football foundation, and then used his vote on Toronto City Council to avoid having to repay over $3,000 out of his own pocket. Ford says he will fight the court ruling and will proceed to keep doing his job.
Mark Carney, viewed as one of the most prominent in guiding Canada through the recession, will be heading across the pond to serve as governor of the Bank of England. Britain's Chancellor of the Exchequer, George Osborne, commented that Carney is quite simply the best, most experienced, and most qualified person in the world to do this job. Carney becomes the first governor of the Bank of England not of British descent.
Organizers for the 2015 Pan Am Games have announced that they are under budget. 5 construction projects are currently underway, including Toronto's Athletic Stadium, Aquatic Centre, and Fieldhouse. There are 4 other projects expected to start within the next 2 years, including Hamilton's new stadium. With a total budget of $1.44 billion, the committee says they are $57 million under budget.
Millions of Canadians beat the lineups and did their Christmas shopping from home and work. Cyber Monday arrived yesterday, and unlike its earlier cousin Black Friday, the discounts are primarily offered on the internet. Many Canadian retailers joined the frenzy, offering discounts and free shipping on their websites. The sales are not Boxing Day type prices, but provide the opportunity for shoppers to save money before Christmas.
A former executive with the Salvation Army has been charged with the theft of $2 million worth of toys from the organization. David Rennie surrendered to the authorities and was questioned before being charged. Police say the toys were found in a warehouse in Brampton controlled by Northern Sales Group. Even 2 bicycles that were donated by former Premier Dalton McGuinty were amongst the stolen merchandise.
This past weekend, Mohawk College opened their doors for their annual Fall Open House. Ignite News reporter Brian Naylor has the story.
Hi, how are you? Welcome to Mohawk College. Come on in for the open house.
All prospective students and their families were invited to join current staff and students at Mohawk College's annual Fall Open House. Many representatives from various departments in the school were on hand to answer any questions people had and why they should think about enrolling at the college. Professor at the McKeel School of Business, Lloyd Hobbs, says it's important to be at the open house to promote the college to future students who might not have made up their minds.
Also very important because the parents of the different students are going to be here with them, aunts and uncles and friends, that type of thing. Because the choice to come to Mohawk quite often isn't just academic, it's actually a personal choice.
Recruitment and Marketing Officer at Mohawk, Valerie Washburn, planned the open house and said how important it is to have this event every year.
The open house, well, it's a chance to speak to all our faculty, staff, students, alumni, come and see what it looks like in here, see all our fabulous classrooms, take a tour. So many people have never been in, they drive by and they're curious what's in here, and when they walk in, they are amazed.
Washburn also says she hopes the prospective students see the variety of programs and services that the college provide for their success.
We want you to be future ready, we want you to be in the program you love and be successful, get a job.
For prospect students and their parents, the open house is a chance for them to get experience of a day in the life of a Mohawk student. Reporting for Ignite News, I'm Brian Naylor.
This year is the 200th anniversary of the War of 1812. Ignite News reporter Lee McConnell spoke with some local historians about the importance of the war.
This is Wesley Turner, a retired Brock University history professor. He also goes by Ralph Clench, a colonel of the Lincoln Militia during the War of 1812. Clench fought in the Battle of Queenston Heights, the same battle where British General Sir Isaac Brock was killed. Dr. Turner held a presentation for the members of the Grimsby Historical Society about the now iconic general's efforts in the War of 1812. The war is currently the only war in history to be fought in the Great Lakes region. It is not only important for that reason, but Turner says it laid the groundwork for Canada to become a country.
It was really the first demonstration by Canadians that they wanted to have their own country, something separate from the United States, but many of them fought with the militia. Many were killed and wounded in the defense of Canada against the American invasion.
In his presentation about Brock, Turner says that just because the general is famous doesn't necessarily mean that he was a great commander.
As a battlefield commander, probably not, because he was killed so early in the war. He becomes a symbol of heroism, a symbol to inspire people to serve their country, to defend their country, a symbol of a cause, because he died in defense of this country.
Craig Tallman, the program director of the Grimsby Historical Society, says that a common theme of the war was unification, something as important in Canada then as it is now.
It was the germ that helped create Canada as a nation. It helped bind us together because Canadians of American descent, of British descent, the Battle of Châteauguay proved that French and English Canadians actually fought side by side against a common enemy. It was a unifying force in helping create, if nothing else, the identity of Canadian people on our side of the Great Lakes.
This year marks the 200th anniversary of Brock's death at the Battle of Queenston Heights. And if it weren't for the contributions he and many others made, Canada may not look the way it does today. Reporting for Ignite News, I'm Lee McConnell.
The city of Toronto is gearing up for the Argonauts Grey Cup Parade today. The Argos will take to the streets of downtown Toronto to celebrate their 35-22 win over the Calgary Stampeders on Sunday in the 100th Grey Cup. The festivities are set to begin just before noon at Yonge and Wellington Streets and will proceed to Bay Street. City officials have declared today Toronto Argonauts Day.
St. Catharines is on the cusp of welcoming a new hospital to the city. $759 million and nearly 1 million square feet later, the hospital is in the finishing touches stage. Gloria Kane, the Niagara Health System Chief Planning Officer, was enthusiastic to say the least. Today, Ontario's Health Minister Deb Matthews will arrive for a grand tour of the facility. CT scanners, cancer radiation machines, and a state-of-the-art Wi-Fi network are all being brought online for the March 24th operational date.
Here's a look back at today's top stories. Rob Ford has been ordered out of office after being guilty of breaking conflict of interest rules. A former executive with the Salvation Army has been charged with the theft of $2 million worth of toys from the organization. And Cyber Monday arrived yesterday, where shoppers can take advantage of the discounts that are primarily offered online. And it looks like some clouds are in our forecast. Let's check in with Glenn for your weather update.
Thanks, guys. It's mainly sunny and 1 degree in Windsor this morning. London has some clouds and is sitting at 1 degree. Moving over to the Golden Horseshoe this morning, Toronto is under cloudy skies with a temperature of 2 degrees. More clouds and 2 degrees in Niagara Falls, but here in Hamilton, the sun is peeking through those clouds and we're sitting at a temperature of 2 degrees. Taking a look at the next 24 hours in Hamilton, this evening the clouds will roll in and will drop down to a temperature of -2. Overnight, we'll have variable cloudiness, dropping down to a low of -4. Tomorrow morning, those clouds will stick around and will climb up to -1. Looking into the 5-day forecast, Wednesday will be partly cloudy with a high of 3 and a low of -4. Thursday, we'll have cloudy skies with a high of 4 and a low of -3. Scattered flurries on Friday with a chilly high of just 1 degree and a low of -3. Things will warm up as we move into December on Saturday, but that warm air will bring some rain as we'll have a high of 7 degrees and a low of 1. More rain on Sunday and a high of 10 with a low of 5. That's all I have for your weather. Let's take it to Dana to see what's up in entertainment.
Thanks, Glenn. The Degrassi franchise continues to pump out stars. First, Aubrey Graham, better known as the rapper Drake, then the Vampire Diaries' Nina Dobrev, and then Jake Epstein is leaving the halls of the famous high school and moving on to Broadway. He has traded in his former role of the bipolar musician for the role of Peter Parker in the theater rendition of Spider-Man: Turn of the Dark. Epstein says because he was a nerd in high school, this is a role he was born to play. South Korean rapper Psy's hit Gangnam Style has officially become the most watched video on YouTube. YouTube announced on its Trends blog Saturday that Gangnam Style has been viewed over 800 million times and still gets up to 10 million hits each day. The video pokes fun of a rich neighborhood in Seoul and has inspired plenty of copies, mashups, and parodies by people all over the world. Now let's see what's happening around Mohawk.
I'm Anisha Seth, and here's your community calendar. If you're looking to enjoy some good food and great live music, come out to Cat and the Fiddle on James Street South every Wednesday from now until December 12th. The Mohawk Applied Music students will be performing at 8:30 p.m. Interested in starting a business? Mohawk's entrepreneur in residence Blair McKeel will be on Fennell campus to offer his ideas and strategies to becoming a successful entrepreneur. Join him in room I-205 on November 29th at 9:30 a.m. If you're looking to update a professional profile, Mohawk's photography students will make that happen. There is a free photo session available on December 3rd at Fennell campus in room F-135. Come between 4:30 p.m. and 6 p.m. wearing a white blouse or shirt and bring your student card. If you're a mature student attending college, come out and attend their coffee club Wednesday, November 28th. You can share your experience with other mature students and find out more about student services in room H02 at 5:30 p.m. And that's your community calendar. I'm Anisha Seth.
Toronto's Big Wreck and Vancouver's Theory of a Dead Man will be performing at the Hamilton Place this Thursday. After many sold-out Canadian shows earlier this year, they have come together to announce an extensive cross-Canada co-headlining tour to cap off 2012. The concert starts at 8:00 p.m. And that's all for your entertainment. Let's pass it over to Julianne with your sports update.
Thanks, Dana. The Argos celebrate their victory in the downtown core today after their win against the Stamps with a score of 35-22. They became the Grey Cup champions. Toronto is calling this day the Toronto Argonauts Day. The Carolina Panthers and the Philadelphia Eagles clashed in the Monday Nighter. It was the Panthers who won the game with a score of 30-22. Panthers quarterback Cam Newton threw for 319 yards, 2 touchdowns, and ran for 2 touchdowns. Eagles quarterback Nick Foles replaced Mike Vick, who was out with a concussion. Foles threw for 119 yards in the loss. Each team now has an identical of 3-8 records. Andrea Bagnani is attempting to bounce back after a 2-for-19 performance against the Spears on their home court. And you can watch the Raptors playing in Houston tonight at 8. That's all for me with your sports. Let's throw it back to Taylor and Katie.
It's probably the most unusual traffic violation ever. A Florida woman was arrested over the weekend for riding an endangered manatee. 53-year-old Ana Gloria Garcia Gutierrez violated the Florida Manatee Sanctuary Act, which makes it a crime to annoy, molest, harass, or disturb the endangered aquatic animal. Gutierrez turned herself into police. She claims that she was new to the area and had no idea her activities were illegal. And that's all your news for Tuesday, November 27th. I'm Taylor Eblett.
And I'm Katie Deslett. For more news coverage, be sure to check out our website at ignitenews.ca. Thanks for watching, Mohawk.